represented here in the finals. Let's go to the mulligans for game number 1 and find out what happens. Is it going to be a zoo fest to kind of test out your opponents? Is it going to be a really safe approach like warrior and druid? And what do you know? It is zoo versus zoo. Start things off.
So we have an intense major matchup right here. The player who ends up drawing, I'd be surprised if he mulliganed to egg. I think that's actually one of the key cards. Just egg into a buff, right?
Well, you know what? Alchemixt is already celebrating, and he's kind of in a good mood.
Rightfully so. He's earned it.
Well, the worst part is over, and he's kind of just enjoying himself. He can put his deck on display, maybe take those fancier moves and no, those lower percentage high risks, but they end up working beautifully. Now you have the comfort of being able to execute those in full confidence, knowing that maybe it doesn't impact the overall tournament, but you're more likely to show what your deck can do in fun situations.
Just one of those games where you're going to go for just crazy juggler plays.
Sure, why not?
He wants the highlight reel.
Yeah, the Soulfire into the Doomguard plays are much more likely to happen with this kind of stuff on the line.
Hey, we saw him risk it all with the Soulfire with everything on the line.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
The 50-50.
Yeah, it was the right play, honestly. And Tides, though, a very strong start. Argent Squire into a buff minion, into another minion. Quickly seizing control of the board. And now Alchemixt already on the ropes very early in this match.
Yeah, two things about the Zoo Mirror is that, one, the person who has the coin can kind of flood. Whoa, that was a little bit of a weird thing. I think you were trying to show off 420. I think that was a joke. I'm not exactly sure. Two things about the Zoo Mirror is that, one, the person that is on the coin often can flood the board and force a better reaction and dictate better trades, so it's a big advantage there. Second thing is that Soulfire also dictates the tempo play, and you're able to control the board from that spot as well. Tides had both. And that's going to be a big disadvantage for Alchemist. It's very difficult to climb back unless you have a Soulfire of your own or you draw better than your opponent.
This is kind of an ugly position.
Yeah.
It's just the only thing you have to do.
Inclined to agree, my good sir. Tides, see what he draws. He draws his own Direwolf Alpha.
Tides' hand's really strong.
Do you like saving your Soulfire, or do you like pushing it with it?
I think you can save Soulfire right here.
Yep.
Again, the whole goal is just to keep control of the board, which you can do very easily. So one of the only ways it actually gets out of control is if his opponent's able to swing it. So, not that I think a Doomguard's going to swing this by any means, but it's certainly one of the ways that it can happen. Like a couple of strong minions. Like say he had like Harvest Golem with another, I guess like an Ardent Squire, and then followed that up with like a Doomguard of his own. At that point, he can start to swing the board in his favor. Or potentially could, and that's where Soulfire becomes important. There's just no reason to use it. So it kind of loses value as he continues to draw cards because he has to hedge his bets against drawing his own Doomguard or a second Soulfire. But he doesn't. Just doesn't need to use it right there. I don't think, especially not with Dark Iron Dwarf in his hand. His hand's just so strong, and now he can just make a big push for damage.
He could. He also can go for some juggle plays as well. Kill off this the Haunted Creeper, and put out double Juggler.
Oh gosh.
Well, you could go for Nubian Egg too if you don't feel confident in the trading ability. Like Defender of Argus could wreck you.
Yep. It's a good thing to note. He also wants to activate this Dark Iron Dwarf in his hand, so it makes a lot of sense to play the egg.
Sure. Okay, well, this kind of indicates that maybe Tides wants to kill off one of these tokens anyways.
Yep. It's a little unlucky. He attacks with the Knife Juggler to prevent both of his other minions dying to these 1/1s.
That's not going in the montage.
One shot, one kill.
All right, well, Alchemist gets really important cards. Again, these Elven Archers are there to swing the mirror and be able to kind of continue to build the board presence with things like this, and all of a sudden, Tides have kind of turned.
Yep. But this is the importance of a card like Dark Iron Dwarf, is when you get to this stage.
Yes. Now the Dark Iron Dwarf will activate the Nerubian Egg. We'll have things like the Doomguard come out eventually as well. Oh, second juggle could have been really nice in taking out the 3-1.
This looks like a Soulfire here. Wow, he chooses not to. I'm a little bit surprised by that. Dark Iron Dwarf's just so strong. It's so hard to discard Dark Iron Dwarf is the problem. And now this is sort of interesting.
You can do both.
Yep. I guess you just push for damage. Your opponent, you can take your opponent to the 13 and have 10 points of damage on the board. I guess it's just what you do.
Yep, being able to put out 2 minions with that Soulfire. Oh, wow, Alchemixt top decks his Soulfire.
Draw. But now he's got to draw something exceptionally large, and Flame Imp's not it.
Flame Imp actually puts him within a lethal possibility. His opponent has 6 damage, he's at 8 health, and Tides just has to draw anything. Defender of Arius, Direwolf Alpha, Doomguard.
Doomguard. I think this game was going to go in Tides' favor almost regardless how the rest of this game went, because Alchemist was just so in life that he wasn't able to utilize his hero powers he used to fight against that.
Well, you know, if it depends on what class you're asking. Fiery War Axe is one of those combination of cards, or at least the MVP cards, to take out Zoo and basically swing at the legs and take out the momentum from underneath them. Unstable Ghoul, potentially another card that can do it as well, but with things like Nerubian Egg, make it a little more resilient. Tide seemed to be in a better mood now that game 1's out of the way, and I think maybe he's settled in the fact that he has qualified for China, so it seems to be lighter. Before, he was pretty intense and serious about the entire situation.
Yeah, this is a kind of a rough draw, too. It always hurts to have Abusive Sergeant and not be able to play it turn 1, because if your opponent has so many answers. Like, if his opponent has Unstable Ghoul now to go along with it, Armorsmith or Cruel Taskmaster, you're just giving them a card.
All right, well, Alchemixt knows exactly what it is. Coining out either the Fiery War Axe or Unstable Ghoul is an option, but he opts to pass. Do you like that pass? Because then now all of a sudden he loses 1 mana where he could have squeezed in something else.
Yeah, I think it's fine because you can make up the mana later, and at the same time, turn 4 Sledge Belcher looks like it's pretty crucial.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not so pressed for life when his opponent doesn't have a 1-drop either. So I think he almost always anticipates it being a long game.
I don't like playing the Unstable Ghoul before the Fiery War Axe when there's a Haunted Creeper out. I think the Fiery War Axe needs to be able to set it up so that the Ghoul is going to be able to get good value. I can understand it, again, if you're maybe afraid of some buffing and stuff, but I think the Axe is also able to take away tempo from whatever comes out, and then your Ghoul becomes pretty powerful.
I can kind of agree with that. It's like a rough position to be in. I'm not sure how I feel about the Ghoul either. Honestly, I think Armor Up's just probably better.
Armor Up, oh man.
Well, you're not under any pressure. Like, you're taking 1 damage and you're gaining 2.
Sure,
How important is the development? You kind of want your opponent to overextend before you choose to use that card, right? Or do you want to wait till you have like an Acolyte, or just like he's playing it into a board where if it dies, nothing happens.
Well, he took out the Abusive Sergeant, but that damage has already been done. And more importantly, it's even closer to the point where you might pop in the Nerubian Egg. So a follow-up Whirlwind with like an Acolyte, if you held it, becomes increasingly more difficult. I think Alchemist is actually coming to the same conclusion.
Yeah.
In terms of watching the match history, like, you know what, maybe in hindsight, I probably should have developed it a little bit later.
Yeah, I would have liked to see it held. And then here, I don't think there's any question. I think it's Armorsmith is a very easy play.
Ooh, second Soulfire. Oh, mama.
Could be bad.
Ah, well, he keeps the Soulfire. Not too bad for Tides. I think keeping a Soulfire is really important for your options as Zoo. Kind of live with that Harvest Golem, but second Soulfire is very nice.
Yeah, I don't know which one he wants more here, honestly. I don't know if he'd rather have the Soulfire or... I think he'd rather have the Soulfire just simply because of Sledge Belcher being a card. Which is likely what we're going to see this turn. That Unstable Ghoul, honestly, playing that too early might have cost him a lot of the ability to gain back the ground he loses in this game.
Yeah, the Axe has not been able to respond to it. It's just been sitting there. Like, how long has this been for the... How many times has this happened where the Warrior starts off with the Fiery War Axe, but by turn 5, he still hasn't had an opportunity to play it?
It's pretty rare, honestly, especially against Zoo. Tides is just... He's happened to draw his Death Rattle minions, and that is definitely a position where you're going to see a lot of struggling from the warrior, because the warrior's so reliant on just picking everything apart and moving forward from there that when they're not able to use Fiery War Axe, it takes away a lot of the edge that they can develop in this game. Like, ideally, you want to just be doing stuff like killing a Flame Imp and then killing a Knife Juggler, and then moving on. But he hasn't had that liberty at all. He's just been fighting the whole game against his opponent having strong Death Rattle minions.
I like buffing the Spectral Spire to a 3/3. It forces a little bit more damage on the backswing if he has something like Fiery War Axe. Also, things like Kor'kron Elite become way less effective. You have to choose between two targets you don't want to kill whatsoever.
Let me ask you this. This is sort of an interesting thought that I had. Is there any merit to reducing your egg to 1 health? So that way if your opponent has a Whirlwind play, that you get a 4/4 out of it?
Oh, absolutely. I think so. I
like,
think there's any way you can position yourself that it's awkward for your opponent to play spells, I'm in favor for.
So, like, he loses 1 damage by doing it, but he could have attacked the Ooze for 1 before killing the Ooze, so his egg would have been at 1 health.
Mm-hmm. It's fair. It's fair. I mean, it depends on how you kind of want to approach it. If you're playing around those things. At the same time, he's in a pretty dominant position already.
Yeah, with the Doomguard in his hand, too. I don't know if Alchemixt is going to be able to get out of this, and that looks like it seals the deal to me.
I think so, because he can squeeze in that Doomguard and get the appropriate damage. No Loatheb is necessary. Good old Doomguard.
Certainly. Bam.
2-0 for the Zoo. And Alchemist.
Game.
Okay, well, we're not taking a break. We're going to go straight into game number 3. Ties up 2-0, and Alchemist has to go to Hunter or his Shaman. Hunter it is. He does have Explosive Trap, which is a card that is necessary to deal with Zoo. Needs things like Unleash the Hounds to kind of stabilize as well. That feeling when you mulligan Kill Command to get Kill Command. And you're probably going to draw Kill Command in your opening card.
That feeling when you're playing Zoo and have 2 Flame Imps, but Alchemist has got an Explosive Trap, so this could spell a little bit of trouble for Tides. Wow. And Unleash the Hounds.
There we go.
This may be the game that he needs to turn it around.
Alchemist, type into his friend, LOL. Mulligan, Kill Command, got it anyways. No worries, I got Unleash. Raffle. Okay, let's play this game. Alchemist, there's kind of something on the line here. Okay, here we go. I think, you pushing out these spires are important. It's exactly what Hunter needs. In a way, it's the Haunted Creeper represents something equivalent of the Paladin hero power. It gives you the ability to kind of target the damage early, and it responds to these really annoying minions while you're building up time to have legitimate threats. But things like Voidwalker give the Haunted Creeper such a hard time that it just feels a little powerless. So I like the power level of the card. Haunted Creeper, as annoying as it is a pretty well-designed card, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely got its strengths and weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
One of the weaknesses being that it's only a 2-mana 1/2. This is just an easy Explosive Trap turn, right?
I think so. I mean, the Flame Imps already did 6 damage, and it's going to be doing 2 damage right back while clearing the board. You're kind of only afraid of something like Shattered Sun Cleric, but even so, he's still going to lose 2 of his minions. Well then, guess this is a pass hero power turn.
Yeah, he might not. The well played already comes out. Tides. He looks so defeated right now. Yeah, I would kill these tokens too. I think this is the right course of action. It's like he already knows basically that it's Explosive Trap. He can't develop his board any further this turn. He might as well pick apart of his opponent what he already can and kind of move forward from there. And Alchemist doesn't have to do anything. He just sits here and continues to hero power.
Yep. And he's kind of taking a really early life lead where if he draws into things like Leroy, maybe he ends the game. Kind of stinky that Tides also draws ways to buff his creatures, but it puts it within range of Explosive Trap.
Yep.
Still, doesn't even matter.
Trigger the trap, Dark Iron Dwarf go. It's not bad as a 4/4. It's kind of like a Yeti.
Yeah.
Ooh, another very strong draw from Alchemist.
I mean, if he's able to kind of get ahead of the creatures that are constantly being dropped by Tides one by one, because it seems like Tides' hand's a little bit heavier, the Buzzard Unleashed may never really, not never, but it doesn't seem like it's likely to be as impactful compared to normally on turns 5 and 6.
Right. It's definitely not. It's sort of like a seal the deal kind of card. Like, just in case my opponent's board gets out of control, by the way, I have this. I like the
doesn't
Soulfire
lose
too.
Doomguard. That's nice.
The Soulfire is really important. It prevents your opponent from using Houndmaster, which I think at this point is one of the only ways they can retake control of the board. At least this turn.
Oh man, how's this? Do you spend your 5 mana just a Hunter's Mark? Oh,
It might not, it's not that bad of an idea. Honestly,
yeah, because
I think the hero powers. I think the hero power is worth a little bit more because he can just cast it for 0 next turn.
Sure, I know. It's
So
just funny.
he loses 2 points of damage, but it wouldn't be like the worst play in the world.
It's just funny that that's how it kind of pans out.
Oh my gosh! Look at how much damage.
Well, now
This
Unleashed is going to be super good because that Lothar
right.
draw was able to disrupt
This is the situation where he's trying to like seal the deal now. Where if he draws the second Hunter's Mark, it's going to be a lot of trouble for Tides. He's got 4 draws to do it, and potentially even 5 with his web spinner.
Uh-oh. Well, he's got a Stone Tusk board to keep it going as well.
A deadly shot.
Ah, Deadly Shot in the Hunter deck. Very much the stylistic choice for removal.
Yep. I actually kind of like how this is going to pan out. I don't think he even needs to find a second Hunter's Mark. Which is, if he finds it, it's just kind of like icing on the cake. He gets to clear his opponent down. He's dropping to 6 when he does this, but now look at how big his hand is, and he can pretty much kill anything his opponent's going to do in the next couple turns.
Also, Tides is at 14 health as well. It's not exactly a very comfortable
wow.
life range.
Oh, wow!
Second Hunter's Mark. 1 draw a little bit late.
All right, I see. It looks like to me like this is a Kodo turn.
Do you Kodo and then something like Freezing Trap?
I think you Kodo. See what you draw. Kodo's going to take out the 1/3. And then you have Hunter's Mark and Web Spinner to take out the Lotheb. And then you have Scavenging... I'm sorry, you have the Starving Buzzard to take out the Shattered
3/2.
Sun Cleric. And then you have a Kodo on the board, and you can develop Freezing Trap to protect yourself from Doomguard. So you're not even losing to the last out in his deck.
Huh. Interesting.
This is
Alchemist
very-
is really flirting with a lot of plays and lines.
Yep. This is a weird... Why wouldn't you just play Houndmaster?
He wants to draw a card off Web Spinner.
He wants to use Deadly Shot, is what he's...
Ah!
Silverback Patriarch.
That's awesome.
That's actually not a bad draw right now.
It
Because
stops the damage of aggro, right?
you can protect him, from future stuff
And
happening.
it draws a card, not bad. I mean, you play it, you draw a card. I
Do you
mean,
wanna
in
play it?
essence,
Let me-
Silverback Patriarch's really nice. Imagine if it drew a card every time.
I think this is sort of a... This is a really weird way to do it, but I mean, I guess it works out. He's got so many cards that it's going to be hard for his opponent to take advantage
He also
of.
wins because he has
any-
double kill command. By the way, like double kill command is 10, and plus the hero power is 12.
But the
he has
Lotheb comes-
command. Oh, but the Lotheb, of course. My apologies.
So, again, he's just got all the ways in the world to deal with it, though. It's like, which one? Like, pick your poison.
Let's see.
Looks like... I mean, this looks like it's just going to be a double Houndmaster turn. It doesn't matter really how he ends up panning out this game. It's just like he's got so many cards and he's got such a heavy position that it's. I mean, there's so many different routes to victory. Again, just choose which one you want. He's going for that.
Yeah,
Patriarch
actually,
turn.
with double Houndmaster now he can't really lose to even the Soulfire Doomguard top decks.
Yep.
And that
Okay, so-
3/6 Silverback Patriarch getting revenge.
If he juggles
laughing
5
now?
times to the face,
Juggles 5 times to the face. That's a dream that won't ever come to reality, at least with 3 cards in
not
hand.
today anyway.
Alright, so Zoo has been stricken down by Alchemixt, and that Buzzard Unleash, well, it was necessary considering how Zoo was able to take back the board forcefully. And Tides will have to go to something else. Ooh, Alchemixt taking his time. I like it.
No BM. Interesting. After all that time taking. Sorry, bro. I couldn't do it.
No worries. All right, jump into the game and see what Tides has prepared for us next.
Yep, he likes this hunter matchup, and I honestly I can't blame him. I think with two flares and the knowledge that your opponent's playing freezing trap, that I think Tides is actually developing an edge in this matchup because of the knowledge edge he has. He's able to abuse those facts and really turn these big turns against your opponent. It's like if he plays a trap, you know it's freezing trap or explosive trap, so you can just hang on to flare until that's happening. And then, even in the right spots, because you know your opponent's playing trap, Stone Tusk Board goes up in value because you can check traps with it. It makes a lot of sense that he's built a Hunter deck that's going to be trying to beat the matchups he still wants to be beating, stuff like Druid. And then it's also tuned for the mirror, so he's anticipated other people making the same decision that he's making, playing Hunter. But they're tuning it for something else, and he's tuning it for the mirror.
Flare card, very important in the mirror, but Web Spinner is to entertain the fans. The hard choice is made, and Tide says, I'm going to have to go for the win here. He says, no more Silverback Patriarchs, please.
Look at that. He draws an explosive trap right away.
Nice.
He's already got a buzzer.
Kill command.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
he opts for the kill.
Powerful.
Interesting.
I think it's just a little bit too powerful.
Yeah.
A lot of times this matchup comes down to just the damage race. And so the extra 5 damage can help swing it in your favor.
Okay, Alchemixt. See, he picks up Houndmaster. He doesn't really have anything else to pair it with other than Stone Tusk Boar. And that's on turn 5, so he's still got a while. Kind of just dead draws for the early game here for Alchemist, but he can kind of ramp up mid-game with some of his options.
Yeah, it's looking like a hero power turn.
Alternatively, you know, you'd never want to let your opponent build the board in this mirror too much. Sure, you can try to hope that you draw Unleash the Hounds and be able to draw a lot of cards and respond to it. But at a certain point, it's kind of like the Miracle Mirror, where if you have a bunch of cards, sometimes that's meaningless in the face of damage, like you kind of said, where it turns into a race. And playing a little bit too much into that is kind of a weakness. Sometimes you just need to Unleash the Hounds with what you have. No buzzer necessary, because you don't have the mana to squeeze everything in.
Right. That's definitely going to come up from time to time. And it's sort of... This matchup is really coming down to who is able to keep development on the board. So it doesn't seem like much, but this Haunted Creeper is going to end up adding to a lot of damage over the course of the game. And Alchemist does not have a single minion that can stick on the board. I don't even think that Houndmaster by itself is unreasonable. The thing about it is he's got to think about how he gets value from the Houndmaster other than that. And he wants to get value from the Starving Buzzard also, but his hand is just so weak. Again, it's hard for him to stick something on the board. So, to me, this looks like another hero power turn, and then on the next turn you want to play Stone Tusk Boar with the Houndmaster. So you get 7 points of power on the board, you'll have a taunt minion, and you'll be a little bit resilient to some of the answers your opponent could potentially have, things like Explosive Trap. So it's tough to just hero power a couple turns in a row with a deck that wants to be developing on turns 2 and 3, but he doesn't have the liberty of being able to make those choices right now. And so Tides is he's more than content to sit here and race. He's got a Loatheb in his hand also, Savannah Highmane, and a Hunter's Mark. He's got answers to pretty much anything his opponent can do. It's just a matter of what his opponent does. And now Alchemist, he picks up a Web Spinner, so he gets a second decision. Does he want to go for more value, or does he want to start getting in damage? And I think that starting to race back is really important here. I don't know if this extra beast is going to start mattering, because when you start scaling into these later turns, you're going to have to expend a lot of your mana just simply answering your opponent's board back. So things like Kill Command on their big minions. There's nothing wrong with the extra minion here, but this can sometimes hurt. Like if this ends up being a non-relevant draw here.
It does give him something potentially to draw, or to play rather, and it is a Kodo. So that does get some value back immediately.
Yep, I think it's a big sigh of relief for Alchemist that he picks up something so strong.
Not bad.
He's actually in a pretty solid position now.
And, you know, again, he has that Stone Tusk Boar as another option to keep the draws with his Buzzard, too. Not to mention its versatility of being able to trigger traps. But, important thing to note, Tides has the Highmane first.
Second Unleash the Hounds. Oh, gosh. This is another tough turn.
Do you need more cards, though?
I don't think you do, but it's hard to fight for board position right now. trying to spot the line of play that's going to lead to victory. Because you're facing down 11 points of damage, and you're behind in the damage race.
If you had Timberwolf, I think things line up a lot cleaner. Because then, and maybe that's what you can hope to draw with Buzzard Unleash. If you can get something, because you do have the Hunter's Mark. You can also just push for here and try to go for the clear, get third card.
Oh, he is going to go for Timberwolf. Look at this.
Okay. Second Hunter's Mark.
Savannah Highmane.
And well, at least now this way he can clear 2 of the minions. And again, that's the benefit of keeping that boar. And he still got the Kodo at least from the web spitter. So everything worked out pretty nice. Alchemixt still isn't taking a huge amount of damage just yet, and he does have a way to answer this hyena.
It's a really strong board clear.
Wow, but look at this second
Oh
Hymen.
my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's a big draw. And now Alchemist, he's still got tools though. So there's a good chance he's going to be taking some damage this turn. But it's not 100%. He's going to be relying on this, I think, on this explosive trap partially to answer these 2/2 tokens. And that's what Tides is hoping that he's going to be relying on as well. I think there's a lot of merit to kill commanding this right away. You have to start stemming this damage, and you have to develop your board, and Oasis Snapjaw is like the perfect card to do it. See, oh my gosh, Ironbeak Owl!
Oh, wow, kill command does end up eliminating it complete from the board.
Oh my gosh! That is a massive Ironbeak Owl right now. That is pulling so much weight.
It did 4 damage spread out across 2 minions. Pretty nasty. It's like a cleave with the effect of with a 2/1 body. Well, Tides picks up kill command for his own so he can answer the Hymen in future turns. How much are you going to try to dig for something like the Stone Tusk Boar yourself?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. I think you have to dig here, though. Like, if you use your buzzer now, you can't afford to just draw like 1 card off of it. You have to draw more than that. Unleash would be really weird here. Like, don't you just Animal Companion? Like, what are you hoping for when you Unleash? Because now
when you Animal Companion, you are so sad when you get a Huffer, though. I don't know if you want to leave yourself up to that kind of RNG.
I don't even know if you're that sad because you've protected your buzzer at that point.
But it's the same mana cost either way, and Animal Companion could be more flexible. You're losing the Buzzard, so Unleash also drops in value. You kind of assume that your Buzzard is just dead here.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But I understand completely what you're saying, though.
Yeah, if you assume the Buzzard's going to die, Unleash, I think, has more merit. But then that way you do force your opponent to have a way to actually kill your Buzzard, though. Like, do they want to kill command your Buzzard?
Well, the likelihood of picking up something like Eagle Horn Bow, another 1 charger like Stone Tusk Boar, Unleash the Hounds. Yeah, I think there is a lot of possibilities. There's just too many possibilities. I mean, the Buzzard always has the highest target and priority, killing it, so.
This is actually kind of tough.
He gets the Huffer. I think he was honestly fine with Liak as well, because an Unleash gets for a full board clear, too.
Yep.
That didn't quite
Uh-oh. Tides of Time, stating the obvious.
Is this really not an Unleash turn?
I still think you can Unleash. You can just remove the Direwolf Alpha.
That's a good one to make.
Okay.
You gotta attack this. Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
What on earth?
Okay.
That is really weird. That is gonna potentially lead to some really bad things happening.
Yeah. Oh, Stone Tusk Boar. That's one of them. You can trade
yeah.
very effectively with the Direwolf Alpha.
Yeah, this could be bad news.
But before Tides does anything, he absolutely should draw a Web Spinner.
That didn't
Just for
quite
me.
get the mark.
He's counting, huh?
That cannot be right.
Wow, Tides is actually really thinking something over real quick and counting on his hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Got Silver Patriarch twice. The chances of getting it 3 times. 3% times 3 to the exponent.
He rolls. I think he wanted to roll Huffer there. I think he's counting some way that Huffer is lethal, maybe.
Really? That would
8,
be
9,
crazy.
15, 16, 17. Or maybe he can just make such a strong push that it's essentially lethal. Wow.
Yeah, with the kill command to potentially finish.
Yep.
Web spinner.
Oh my gosh.
Give me the Captain's Parrot.
Captain's Parrot. He doesn't have
Pulling
any
out.
pirates in that deck.
Here we go.
If he places Captain's Parrot,
South Sea Deccan coming up right here.
If
Watch.
he gets a Bloodsail Raider, this is ridiculous. There's no pirates in that deck. Come on, game.
All right, so we found a card strictly worse for Hunter than Angry Chicken. We did it, Twitch Jet.
Web Spinner's drunk.
Go home, Web Spinner. Or go to the graveyard, either way. 6/4 Scavenging Hyena. TidesofTime has a Captain's Parrot. At this point, it's just a mascot.
This is why you don't let Buzzard live, by the way. It's like he just killed your entire board and replaced his entire hand. There's no way that letting Buzzard live can be right.
Unless he wanted him to fill the board once more for Unleash value, and that's sort of like a meta play, but I don't think that's actually the case. Alchemist is in a tough spot where he might just die. And he might die to a person who drew Captain's Parrot off a web spinner. Oh my goodness.
You might be the first person to ever lose to a Captain's Parrot play.
Oh man. Alchemist doesn't really have a good option to follow this up with either. He's going to be taking pretty hefty damage regardless of what happens.
Yep. Gosh, and he's finally had to rely on the explosive trap, and Tides has just been holding Flare the entire game.
So there's 10 damage immediately, just with hero power alone. 5 with the kill command, 3 with the bow, and maybe 2 with the hero power? Oh, okay, Tides. He's sending in. He's sending the victory cigar. Please, Captain's Parrot is the victory cigar in Hearthstone. You have to do it. You know you've won, Tides. He's ready to use both Unleashes, too. There's nothing you're afraid of.
Oh, he can't. He doesn't have the mana to play it and kill him. Oh, you just gotta wait a turn, right? You just let him live for a turn so you can...
Captain's Parrot.
Really?
Aw, come on.
Well, he wants to play the Captain's Parrot the turn he's gonna win. So it's like, let his opponent live for basically another turn.
You let your beast die and then pretend it's like, oops, because you didn't have the beast
this
to
is
kill
great.
command and you parrots. No!
How dare
Alchemixt
you?
denies the Captain's Parrot. Oh, Ty says, I'm sorry, bro, next time.
He doesn't want
He's
another
playing
power.
the long con.
Look, once he plays it, he fetches up Captain Greenskin. The jig is up, and it's not a position. It's not a position that he can allow his opponent to be in. Again, we talk how important the information battle is. Well, that's the most prime information you can possibly get in terms of your Alchemixt. Like if that's the kind of information he has, you see this series completely turn around. And so this web spinner, he's hoping this gets another Captain's Parrot again, because this is the final game where he really wants to utilize those pirates that he can draw. So everything really adding up here. Hopefully he can pull it out.
I'm just highly amused. Web spinner once again delivering. Tides does have double Houndmaster, which can be pretty good to gain value immediately and draw hexes where shamans really don't want to be using hexes immediately. And he does have the Buzzard Unleash combo, which is very powerful and potent, because Shaman does have that hero power that inevitably builds up the board.
Urshok's a pretty interesting choice here, too.
Oh, don't do it. No.
Oh, gosh.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, jeez. I actually think playing Blood Mage here is better than making a totem. I think you just want to continue to dig into your deck and find the right answers.
Yeah. Yeah. Spell power is usually only consequential if you have something like Lightning Bolt to take out, I don't know, an animal companion of some sort.
Yep.
Something like Amisha or Leok. And in this case, drawing through your deck, like you said, is much more important.
Ooh, this is going to be a really rough couple of turns for Alchemist. He's feeling like he's in a really good shape, but this Buzzard Unleash is very tricky with turning around boards where you get too many minions out. So he needs to be really careful that he doesn't actually make too many minions here. I don't think he actually even wants the totem here. I think he should just play the Unbound and pass. Maybe the other Defender of Argus, though.
Wow, Tides wants to bait his opponent
Gosh,
into
and an Azure
trading.
Drake. This is so tough now. He's
Hmm.
got 3 different very good options at this point. And I don't know which one he should be taking. This seems like it's just like the Azure Drake's the obvious one, but this is one of those turns where it's so important to think through what's happening and making sure that you're not missing any opportunities to really pick up a strong play.
Yeah, think, why is he playing Houndmaster immediately here? Is he trying to evoke a kind of reaction? How am I supposed to react? I don't know if the Alchemist is considering all these things, because he feels like he's been playing a little bit on the looser side, having more fun. You know, even toasting to the chat and stream.
Well,
But at the same time, it's important to kind of keep these things in mind as the viewer of how you kind of approach these plays.
yeah, I think in this spot, it's like he's very much considered the Houndmaster, and this is a sort of a rare example of someone who may have over-considered Houndmaster. I'm not sure he needed to Rockbiter it, but at the same time, it makes a lot of sense. Like, if your opponent's just going to play that, you want to have this Nerubian Egg here to not only help counter against Explosive Trap, but you want to make it harder for something like Unleash the Hounds to push through. So now he's got to deal with this 4/4. So this protects his Unbound Elemental. It keeps his Defender of Argus alive. So now he has threats on the board that he can use immediately to counter a board position if something like this happens. So all of these things are really coming into effect here. And now Fire Elemental going to put a big hurt on Tides of Time. But he's got a second Buzzard Unleash combo. So as much as it hurts to lose your board position over and over again, it feels great to fill up your hand and kill your opponent's board.
Yeah, and you know, the Shaman needs to continue to have good card draw and to keep, at least even to match his opponent.
Yep.
You know, Shaman doesn't have that many draw mechanics other than Mana Tide Totem and a couple of things that cycle like Azure Drake. So Alchemist is already spending a lot of his resources. So if this board gets wiped, he's pretty much, other than his Azure Drake, relegated to top decking an answer to what his opponent can drop, while Tides will be able to continue to refill.
I think Tides' draw is just too strong for this one to pull out of. It's like now he's drawn 3 more cards, 9 cards in his hand. Fire Elemental's going to fall. He's got strong follow-ups at pretty much every step of the way. If there's one way that he may have actually not secured this window, it's probably by drawing 2 trackings right off the bat. So it's like he doesn't need to filter for very much. His hand's already strong, but the fact that he's got to expend some of this mana into now finding the right drops, that could be a difference in this game. Hex is really strong here. And again, it's like, say these trackings are just, either they find too many strong cards in each tracking or they don't find anything. That could potentially be a difference maker. But I don't know if it's going to end up mattering, though, because can he actually just grind him out of this game? He's just got less cards than his opponent.
All right, well, he's about to top deck an Earthshock. That can allow him to clear the board.
That's really important to save right now.
Yeah.
Your opponent's drawn so many cards that you are fearing the potential of 2 Savannah Highmanes at this point.
And there's strong likelihood. By the way, to kind of answer your question previously, it seems that we can kind of assume Tides would run weapons in this deck. And that seems that's where the Hyena was able to kind of flex in.
Yep.
All right, Tides looking over the Houndmaster. Again, you want to kind of take the board away from the Shaman. Savannah Highmane into a Hex is exactly one way for them to climb back.
Yep. I think he wants his opponent to have to use all that stuff, I think, before he plays Savannah Highmane. I think he wants to follow. Oh my gosh, that's a good one.
Wow, the Huffer roll is very big.
Yep. That makes a very large difference. He's actually able to clear this entire board and make a big Hyena. But this is one of the reasons why Earthshock's so important. But this isn't something that Tides is like upset with, though. It's like he wants these Earthshocks to be used so he can get through Savannah Highmane. So 2 things are happening. He's able to overcommit into it because if his opponent doesn't have an answer, it's just too big of a threat for him to deal with. And then the second one is, if his opponent does have an answer to deal with this, now he's much more at ease playing something like Savannah Highmane. It's going to get through a lot more often in that scenario. Lightning Bolt, though. He actually may not even have to use Earthshock here. Misses the totem, though. That was kind of an important totem.
That is tough. Because if you could use Lightning Bolt, you save Hex for things like the inevitable Highmane.
Right. I think he's going to have to Earthshock here. That's just, you can't just be taking 7 damage.
I mean, you're taking 3 damage. And you kind of reduce it by 4. You're still taking lots more on the swing back because at 6 aimed right back at you, you'll be at 16. I don't know how good I feel about that situation either.
I don't think hexing's unreasonable. Just you have to do something to take care of it.
The frog still has one attack then.
You have to do something to take care of it. Is really what it boils down to. I would really like to see him, if he's going to use this, he needs a lightning bolt instead of using that earth shock, because now he doesn't have a hex anymore. And I know it seems like it's bad to overkill it. Oh my gosh, that's not good news. I think he should have lightning bolted there. It's like your opponent's drawn 7, 8 extra cards this game, and they've used it. It's like, and there's possibility of them tracking. Like they're going to find Savannah Highmane.
Yeah,
now you
definitely.
you have actually no answer to it now. He probably just shouldn't have even used the lightning bolt to begin with. He should just be saving it. I think it's probably going to do it. Actually, if he had Earthshock though.
Yeah, Earthshock Lightning Storm would have been pretty great.
So Tides isn't in the clear yet. There's still a couple more things that Alchemixt can do. But again, Tides is very deep into his deck. Has a lot of strong answers already.
I think so. Tides has used his Budget Release combo twice over, so Alchemix feels a little bit better about building the board.
Yep.
But, still Tides has lots of options at his disposal with double trackings. He can kind of pick what he needs. Kill Command is also nice, so he can get some damage.
He's got a Houndmaster, too. He needs these trackings to be...
Wait, he does play
he does
bow.
have bow.
Okay.
It's the first time I think it's the first time we've actually seen bow from this tournament. No, he played it last game, didn't he? He actually played it last game.
There's been 16 best of 5s throughout this entire tournament, or something around that number, and a lot of people have played Hunter, so I don't have the exact best memory at the moment. Kind of brain fart, not bad.
It happens.
I think pushing for damage here is pretty reasonable. He's shown that he hasn't been able to deal with the Hindmane. You put yourself within a lethal range too.
Yep. I like how he's holding the trackings too. There's not really a big reason to use them because he wants to use them as like the final answer. And this is sort of one of the powers of this card is when you're already winning, you can just hold on to it. And so when you've held on to it for so long, it's like now he can just dig for the second kill command, and he has 7 cards next turn to find another kill command.
Oh man, Alchemix draws Doomhammer, but he's just gonna be lowering himself closer and closer to the lethal range. And let's see, even if he uses Lightning Storm and Doomhammer to clean everything up with Lightning Bolt, he's still going to be taking a little bit of damage and put him at 11 live. With Kill Command and Eaglehorn Bow and and the Hero Power, that's going to put him at just to draw 1 or 2 more damage, and that's the game.
Well, good luck to Alchemix, but I don't think he's getting out of this, almost regardless of how he rolls. So it's a very favorable roll, but now Tides got to put together a beast and a kill command. Yeah, he just needs a few more points of damage. There's a second kill command. That's actually just lethal.
We have our champion.
Yep.
Wait, okay, come on. Tracking first. There we go. So Ty's going to show what he's got. Web spinner. Cool, let's take it. Tracking twice.
Yep, going for full BM here.
The Flare, I guess. See what your last card is. Oh, don't hide main. No point. Yeah, I like it. If there's one thing I know is about how to be a complete dick to my opponent.
Completely out of cards.
All right, Tides is going to win this series 4-1. I think that was my most accurate prediction